Hey everybody, welcome to our collective reading for the week. And this is relevant whenever you find it. It's a general reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. I'm working with the Matt Hughes Oracle deck, first off. Okay. Anything else from this deck? We got one eager participant in the discussion right off the bat, and then that's it. Okay. All right, well, we have sea turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. Emotional stability, something about longevity. Long unfolding process. Sea turtles can live for like a very long time. Very long lifespan. And it seems like emotional, but also really stable. Sure, nothing else here? No. Anything else? Okay. Well, not the whole thing. We don't need the whole thing. We'll just move on to the Crow Oracle. All right, sea turtle. All right. Anything else from the crow? No, crow. Or okay, we're going to be talking. It's either going to be a short reading or we're going to be talking more about the tarot cards. We have choices and survival. Both of these seem frozen in place. And like the choices frozen in a thought process. Something's staying, well, and we got slow and steady. So maybe we're thinking through something very carefully. And there's like, yeah, they're both thinking. They're both very deep in thought. Trying to figure something out here. Yeah, it's just like basically me looking at these cards trying to figure something out here. That's literally, here I am. I'm looking at these cards, these two cards, trying to understand how we crack this open. How do we crack this thing open? How do we get this party started is basically what's going on here. Okay, well, we'll just start here with survival. This is being frozen in place. This is not thrival. This is survival. We have the fox and the crow, both very smart, very intelligent, sort of in a deadlock. The fox seems to have the crow pinned down, but we know that the crow, this is an apex species. The crow is brilliant. Well, I'm conflating ravens and crows. But you know, they're very brilliant species. They are a match of wits to the fox. They can match this fox synapse by synapse, right? They're both known for being clever. So why is this one sort of pinned down here? And they don't feel like they can move. They feel like any move they make is very risky. And it's true, right? Like with boxing, any punch you throw opens up a whole, like I'm not like a boxer, like I have no form or anything like that, but it opens up vulnerabilities. Anytime you make a move, you open up vulnerabilities. And here's Jack. He's come to say hello. Jack, they're over there. Or you just came to say hello to me. Do you want to? Yeah. So there's a sense of being, and the survival, like, yeah, Ouroboros has come up already today multiple times in readings. And so we have this idea of like not gaining any ground, but also not losing. We're maintaining, but it's not thriving. It's maintaining. It's Jack. All right. So it's maintaining. And it is maintaining an equilibrium, right? The Ouroboros is a snake eating its own tail. So it's, so the snake isn't actually gaining calories. It's not gaining, it's not taking in anything new, but it's also not dying of starvation. It's just the cycle continues. So there's a sense of like being able to survive, yes, but and there's also a sense of fear, or maybe feeling not up to the challenge. Like, what's this crow going to do? Just sort of die there? Like, what happens? So it's got to make a move. It's got to make a move somehow. And it's worried about the move. It's worried about creating a vulnerability, during the move. Like, is it going to be the right move? So there's a deadlock situation, but we're getting slow and steady. So we're not making a rash decision at all. And that's what I'm seeing here with these choices. Like, which one looks better? Which one are you going to take? Which, someone here is already like moving on, but there's just like a slow thought process going on here. There's a situation, how are you going to get out of it? Really thinking it through, and really, I think there's a sense of needing to know that you are smart enough to figure this out. That, yeah, you may have met your match here, or there may be a situation that actually is very tricky to get out of. But you can do it. But to weigh your choices very carefully. All right, let's see what the tarot has to say. I'm going to do one more shuffle. Get a turtle in there, slow and steady. Yeah, I see just thinking mode in all three of these cards. Not an action, but a planning, a process, making decisions, small and large. Assessing your assets. Assessing assets. Assessing something, a situation. And deciding how you're going to handle it. But what we do know is you can't stay here forever. Because at some point, surviving in this situation, you can't survive there forever. You have to eat and get more sustenance. So it won't be, but it is for now. All right, from the bottom of the deck, we have King of Swords here. It's really interesting. This also just came out. Different deck, different reading. King of Swords. This can be a judge, a lawyer, someone who thinks. Wait, yeah. Well, we have basically the thinker up here, but they are very smart. This is a person. They understand extenuating circumstances, but they also make decisions. It's a king. It's the top. It's it's a boss. It could have legal or just something where the person is more pencil pusher, less hands-on. Less construction, more like architect. Less construction worker, more architect type of person. They have a right to be here. They've earned their place in society. They're very book smart. They are entitled to their position of authority. It was not stolen, taken. They're entitled to whatever position of authority this person has. They could work with words, but they are a king, and they're a king of swords, throat chakra. Ideas. Yeah. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh my goodness. This is I picked the deck, it called to me, but this is a bit of a sausage fest here. We've got, what is this? It looks like war. Like, I'm not saying this but it's just crazy. It's just, what am I looking at here? Okay. We have we have nights, beginnings, endings. It's wow. Okay. So we have in the recent past, Knight of Coins. This looks like these three right here. The Knight of Coins. Look, he's looking, he's planning, he's figuring out, he's plotting. This might not be you. This could be somebody you know. This could be you. This could be you planning, plotting, figuring things out. This Knight of Coins is looking over his land. He doesn't want to fight. He's not necessarily a man of action at this point in his life, he or she. But they are trying to figure out like what's the best way to go about something. I can just see this person just looking at the future, looking at the spring, looking at planting season, and really trying to figure out like where they're going to be intercropping, what needs to be here, what needs more water, that needs to be over here, what thrives in shade, that needs to be over here, what needs full sun, that needs to be over here. There's like, the gardener is looking at their garden, but it, like, let's say it's a giant farm. And they're plotting, they're planning, they're figuring out how to make the most out of these resources. I've got these resources, I've got this land, it's time, the time is coming. So something's been in a planning stage. And this could be you, this could be somebody else has had a long plan. This is not, they haven't taken action on the plan, which is what we see here. We see no action over here. This is something that has no action. We had a very slow start to this reading. No action. This is all thinking. The Knight of Coins thinks, plans, figures things out, seeks to understand. We already have this King of Swords, the seeker to understand. The Knight of Coins almost looks like it would be a natural progression from Knight of Coins to King of Swords. This would be someone who is being very smart with their resources, even though it's in the coins, and we sort of think of someone who's like, it's planning things. Like, again, this King of Swords was very much like book smart. Knight of Coins is very like a planner. Yeah, thinking about something, but never taking action. Not never. We have a lot of action coming up here. Not taking action, but planning, setting up. Oh, this would be, oh man, I'd love to see the Knight of Coins and the King of Swords in a chess match. Because King of Swords is going to be very smart, but Knight of Coins is going to be like, oh, they're several steps ahead. They're several steps ahead in this game. They've really thought everything through. And of course, like, plans change, and, you know, maybe they're like going to go, you know, okay, we're going to plant potatoes on April 15th, but April 15th turns out to be very windy. So they can adjust, right? Or very, very wet, and we don't want to destroy the soil structure in a rain by digging it all up in a rainstorm. So we're gonna, you know, I don't know, there's a plan. There may be adjustments that need to be made to that plan. So Knight of Coins, plan, laying the groundwork here for their survival, their choices. But here we have 10 of Coins. And the Knight of Coins and the King of Swords, they could be the same person too. We have a lot of people here. That's why I'm like, this looks like war. There's like 5 people here. And none of them are queens. None of them are sitting back, just vibing with themselves. They're all here. So 10 of Coins here following this Knight of Coins. So maybe some sort of plan coming to fruition. 10 of Coins is the end. So we have this Knight of Coins. It's almost like we almost skipped to like planning, preparation stages, figuring out what needs to happen. There's not a lot of communication with Knight of Coins. It's more like planning, where that would differ from the King of Swords. I don't know why I'm comparing and contrasting them, but that's what feels right to me. So this 10 of Coins, we have the something coming to fruition. The work's been done. It's time to party, time to enjoy ourselves. The fruits of your labors coming in. Maybe you set out a plan, or somebody had a plan, and this can be like a family reunion. This can be inheritance. This is just like the work is done and it's time to enjoy each other's company, enjoy our hobbies, enjoy what we've worked so hard to achieve, or somebody worked hard to achieve it. And a lot of people are able to enjoy it. So there can be almost a party vibe here, as far as like, we've planned this out, and now it's time to enjoy the fruits of our labors. So, or the fruits of somebody's labors, again, with the inheritance and stuff like that. But it can be like something that you already put a bunch of work into. I love it coming after this Knight of Coins. This Knight of Coins is really planned, really figured it out. And now we have a harvest. It's almost like we skip a couple steps here, but we have a harvest here, 10 of Coins. It could be the end of a job, the end of a career. I mean, I don't mean that scary. It's supposed to be a celebration, like a retirement party or something like that. Or, I mean, we don't get funeral vibes off this one, but it could be like a funeral where we're celebrating something that's past, something very real that's gone on. But, you know, funerals can often have like a celebratory vibe to them too, especially if it's like family members you haven't seen for a while, you know, and there's like lunch afterwards or something. Like there can be this reunion, renewal, yeah, celebrating something that's already gone, but also enjoying and appreciating the people that are still with us, right? So this night of, it's something that's been planned for a really long time. It seems like this party or this event or this, and we're enjoying the fruits of our labors now. Like the party's been planned, you know, we figured out where we were going to put a little drinks truck and how much pizza to order and all of that. Apparently it's a kid's party. And we're just going to enjoy it. And we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Something was planned out, and here it is. So then we have, in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, what you're thinking about, Knight of Swords. So Knight of Swords, very direct communication. This could be a person who is very direct. The Knight of Swords, what is this? King George? Slaying the dragon, clearing something up. You might want to clear something up, or you might want to be very clear, very decisive. I like it. You're thinking about being very decisive. You're not being very decisive here, or you haven't been, but you're thinking about being very decisive or being very clear with your communication. And brave, courageous communication. This could be, you know, someone that said something at this gathering, or you say something at this gathering, or you wish you had said something at this gathering. This is on your mind. It's either a person that you're thinking about, They may think they're slaying the dragon, but it may come off as very rash and poorly thought out. What's interesting too is this Knight of Coins. There's a lot of comparing and contrasting going on here. So this could be part of these like choices and decisions here. So this Knight of Coins is very suited up in a suit of armor, even though he's a farmer. He's like, you never know. You never know. Even though I'm just planning out the farm here, you just never know. So they're very well suited up. This Knight of Swords is wearing like a sweatsuit. Like they're not really in armor. They're not protecting themselves very well, or they're not. There's an immaturity to this Knight of Swords, and this could be someone that you're thinking of. The Knight of Coins is very slow, steady, I'm really going to think about this for almost too long. And then we have the opposite energy in Knight of Swords. This reminds me of like teenagers or people in their early 20s that really have this idea of like how they're supposed to be or how you should approach life. And they got it somewhere. But it's sort of this external idea of like, you should plan things out. No, you should just go in there and slice them and dice them and get this stuff done. Like the Knight of Coins and the Knight of Swords are very opposite energies. This one's very rash, very quick, very decisive. And this one's really just thinks a lot. And it's just really interesting. There's like sort of this party between them, or this, you know, it just reminds me of people that haven't reached any kind of balance. They're kind of extremes. And they haven't, you know, figured out the balance between action and thought. They haven't figured out thoughtful action, or, you know, thinking before you speak or something like that. So now person number 4 shows up. I've got like this whole paper doll set basically here, but they're all like men, even though I have like decks where they're all women for whatever reason. This deck involves this, and I don't know what quite to make of that yet. So what's at issue here? Page of Swords. So this is very immature, right? If these knights are like late teens, early 20s, still trying to get some balance, vacillating between extremes. We have the Page of Swords, which is just like, wow, super immature words, decisions, very childlike, not managing. Someone said something so weird or just strange, or thinks something really, you know how when you're a child and you're like, well, I mean, this happens at all ages, when you're like, oh, life's like that, you know? And then it's just really not. It was like some misunderstanding you got from a cartoon or something, that's how it goes, you know? This Page of Swords, there is a very like extremely immature vibe. I want to say nursery rhyme. Like we're down in, like someone got some sort of idea from a nursery rhyme, or somebody got some sort of like concept. It's just so childish. It's just so childish. Someone's behavior, or maybe just something they said or did, is just very immature and childish. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to say, maybe. And so they said like the worst thing possible. This could be a confused child or a confused youth, actually. And maybe you've been like waiting and seeing what's going to happen. And then part of you's like, well, maybe I should just go in there and tell them what's what. This could be a very confused young person. This can be someone who just doesn't know how to say something, how to communicate, what to say. They just don't know what to say. They could be in this like just survival mode without really being able to, knowing what to do or what to say. They can't decide. Their mind could just be kind of jumbled, and they could be very confused. There's, yeah. Or just like a really immature idea, or a really immature conversation. In your environment, we have 9 of Wands. Whew. This is our wounded warrior. And goodness, with the King of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords, there's just a like fighting going on here. Or something. It's so wild. And like the King of Swords is trying to be, is being very mature. We have the whole range of like ideas and communication styles and levels of maturity with communication. It's really interesting too, because as I was preparing for this, I did, the throat chakra just kept coming up again and again, just with my own meditation. Like, it was just really interesting. And I did a throat chakra meditation before starting this. It was just, and we have so many swords here. So there could be an argument, a conversation, something that went really awry. It seems like there could be some sort of fight here. And then we have this too, this sort of, standoff. We have a bit of a standoff here. Someone was very immature. You're not sure if you should say something and clear things up or what. And here we have 9 of Wands. The situation just keeps going and going and going. And it's just not finding the rest it needs. This 9 of Wands looks like he's been in the middle of these swords and was not fully prepared for it. Something is just not very inspiring anymore. You have to keep doing it perhaps for survival, but there's just a sense of like, I would really like to go home now, but I don't know how. It's like you get a ride to the bar and to hang out with your friends, and you can't leave when things go wrong and you just want to go home. You just can't leave the situation. And so you have to stay there, even though you're sort of limping along, you're wounded, you're bleeding from multiple situations. Wow, the situation has like brought you to your knees. There's some sort of transition that you're very grumpy about, that isn't over. And you're having to there's a transition that you're grumpy about. Or somebody is, this is your environment. It's just, I want to say your knees are grumpy. Your knees. The knees being a joint of transition, of mobility, of movement. And we see a lot of immobility here. And the situation isn't over, though. You don't get to go home. This reminds me of a week last summer where I broke my toe, but like the rest of the foot was involved. And then the same week, my car broke down, the starter. So like there was no mobility. And so, yeah, and then I ended up like on my little crutches with all of my pain, having to leave my car at the shop and take like 3 buses across town home. And boy, this was me. Instead of my knees being grumpy, my foot was grumpy. I just wanted to go home, and it was just not my favorite day. So yeah, there's just something about that. Why, I don't know why your knees are grumpy here, but that can just be a symbol of like frustration at going and not being able to go home, or not being able to stop something or quit something. But anyway, the situation just is going on and on and on. There's not really an end in sight. This is like a never-ending war or battle or something, or fight between 2 people. And then what's at issue here? This is your to-do list. Ace of Cups. This is surprising. In the midst of all of this, what do we have? A dove. We have a dove, an angel coming into the midst of, with this 10 of coins here, this could be family issues. This dove coming in here, a new beginning. Take it. Either bring the peace offering, take the peace offering, something. There's a new beginning. There's a magical new beginning. There's a lot of emotions. Make sure you're feeling all of your emotions and accepting them as just information, as part of the situation. Renewal. And you're bringing the renewal? it seems like you're bringing relief, like you're the nurse. You're the battle nurse. I'm seeing like this whole like battle, and then you're like some sort of nurse that comes into it. Maybe you're providing, you're providing the wounded soldiers, because we have a wounded warrior around you. You're providing them with like a drink, or like a peace offering of some kind, a heartfelt. This is the strangest reading. This is one of the strangest readings I've ever done. There's you're offering something. It's emotional what you're offering. You're offering a new beginning. And it couldn't come at a better time, because there's this like hot, fiery, warlike energy here. And then you're offering something. It's not everything. Maybe there's a battle over an inheritance or something. Because the Knight of Coins and Knight of Swords are just, they remind me of like two siblings that are just completely opposite of each other. And they have very different ways of dealing with things. And they're fighting over something. And like you come in with a peace offering or something. But it's very emotional. There's a purity of this emotion. There's a joy of this emotion. Everything else, this 10 of Coins looks like maybe it's like you bring, it's like a BYOB, but you bring something for everybody. Like, everything around this is like really difficult energies. There's immaturity, there's words, people having words, and then there's like you in the center of all of this is some kind of party or gathering or reunion or something like that, and you are bringing the balm to soothe these burns, perhaps. The peace offering. So I want to just say, be peace. That's you. And bring in the new beginning. Because with this 10 of Coins, which is an ending, and then it stands right over the Ace of Cups. So something came to an end, is coming to an end. There is a celebration. But then you need to be providing some sort, don't sacrifice yourself, right? But there might be an option. And is this like an ongoing battle? We have this sea turtle, this slow and steady, just this ongoing issue. All right, and then where we end up, the Emperor. I'm not a big fan of the Emperor, I know like my channel is Empress Rose and all of that, but I don't ever feel like the Emperor is just a little too controlling. This could be law, some sort of agent of the law. But this Emperor looks a lot like the King of Swords here. They both have this, I forget what that's called, the ball. They both hold the ball. That means they have a right to rule. So this is like the Emperor. This is like you're putting things to peace, and then the grown-up enters the room. It's like a fight, and then the grown-up enters the room. The boss enters the room at some point. The Emperor is like someone who has a lot of control, a lot of say. They have more say than the King of Swords. They have more say than anybody else. This is like you run and get the teacher. Like the class just went into mayhem, and the kids that have been fighting the whole time, like all year, the fight just completely breaks out while the teacher's out of the room, and you try to calm everybody down, but then in walks the principal. But there's someone here that has a lot of control and a lot of say over this situation. I just keep saying, like, this looks like a battle, a fight, something. And then someone comes in, like, you need to be making sure that you are bringing as much peace to the situation as possible. So that when the teacher walks in, or when the principal walks in, what a funny reading. When the principal walks in, they see you being the peacemaker. Right? I think a fight breaks out at a party. I don't know what is going on here. Like, it's interesting because we're talking about, like, it's tarot. We're talking about the future. And sometimes we can't see it from where we're at, you know? We can't, like, what is this talking about? I don't know. But then that's exactly why we're coming here, right? Like, oh yeah. Well, we'll take the throat chakra one, although we've got the heart chakra here with this Ace of Cups. 3 fell on the floor. Release, Kali Mudra. Expansiveness, release, spiritual purification. And then I'll post this at the end and you'll be able to read it. Directs breath and awareness to neck and throat area, energizes thyroid gland, metabolism and energy, releases muscular tension from the shoulders, neck, and throat center. I release all obstacles and align to my true nature, which is love. All right, and this Emperor, I'm going to pull one more actually. What is this Emperor? Who is this Emperor? Or how can we modify this Emperor? What? Any more information about the Emperor here? Someone's really in charge here and takes control of the situation. Oh, we have the Lovers, which is interesting because this is choices right here. The Emperor's going to have to make some decisions. We have 4 and 6. There's mirroring. There's Gemini energy. There's Aries energy. A decision has to be made. This is like a judge coming in. This Emperor is going to make a decision about, I don't know. They have to decide between these two, right? This is the Emperor. These are the options. And I don't think it's in your hands. I think that you're just bringing as much peace as you can to the situation. And this Emperor is going to have to make some choices. So make sure you look like an angel when this Emperor is making some choices, I guess. All right. This was such a weird reading. I really feel like I went someplace that I've never been before here. Which is great as a reader. I love that. I mean, just me as a person, a bit of an adventure. I love going places I've never been before, but this is wild. Oasis of hope. The successes that seem impossible are all the more precious for their unlikelihood. These are reminders of divine power, the triumph, and I'm seeing a lot of power with this Emperor. These are reminders of divine power, the triumph of hope, of winning against the odds. Remember that life thrives hidden even in the desert. Do not give up hope. Believe in the inevitability of your beautiful destiny. So I think this is you believing, having faith, having love, bringing love into a situation as much as you can, without throwing yourself under the bus. Right? And in a way, trusting in this Emperor. Even though I don't typically like the Emperor, I think that this Emperor is a very soothing presence. And you need to trust that they are going to be making some decisions here. They're coming into a riot, basically, and they're going to make some choices and decisions. All right, hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm excited to see like what on earth this is about. But oh, I forgot to even look at the picture. Oasis of hope. So it doesn't look like an oasis right now, but this is a dry riverbed. So something's coming in. Maybe someone's making some decisions in the future, and you need to remain hopeful and positive. Right, because you're the Ace of Cups. So in a way, this is the empty cup, but you're bringing something into that cup, some sort of emotion or something to fill this dry riverbed. You're the Ace of Cups, and this looks like an empty cup here that's waiting to be filled, or in this case, refilled. And then again, we have the one water, the only other water sign, right? The soothing balm, this pouring water on the fire, putting water on the fire, unless it's a grease fire. I learned that the hard way, even though I knew it intellectually. I saw a pot on fire and stuck it in the sink and ended up with a fireball. So, so it's something to know something intellectually, another thing to like actually apply that information. So anyway, you are the water that's going onto the not grease fire. So with the sea turtle and this Ace of Cups, there's some sort of soothing. You can be a soothing presence here. Okay. All right. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm so curious as to what this is going to unfold like throughout our week. So thanks for joining me here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.